Hello again, everybody, and welcome back to the newest episode of Semi-Pro. Today, it is me, Josh, Bobbin, and Daniel, and we are going to watch the critically acclaimed movie, Jason X.
Hey, yeah.
I like that he called it critically acclaimed.
Well, he didn't say good or bad.
See,
critically.
We're right back to where we started because now I can't mute you guys, and you're talking over the intro
I think
music.
that adds to it. I think that adds to it.
Yeah,
You're taking that as a bad thing. But I think
It's our own little je ne sais quoi.
yeah.
I hate all of you.
It's our
Every
Riz.
single one of you.
We got that Riz. Yo, we got that Riz. Yo, hey, you know what the next movie? You know what the next movie we should watch is? The
Chronicles
Wizard of Oz.
The next movie is The Riz.
Hey, yo.
All
right, so what are we watching?
So we're watching
Jason Sex.
You guys did that last
we're
week.
watching. We're watching Jason X, which is a movie I'm really excited to watch because I did a binge over the Halloween season of all the Friday the 13th movies. Josh told me to hold out on Jason X to watch it for the podcast with him and Bobbin. Daniel, you're just here. You just exist.
Yeah, no, that's true. That is usually the case.
Everyone here knows that Jason X is one of my favorite slasher movies and one of my favorite spooky season movies.
I didn't know that.
Same.
It's just
you do now.
I do now.
Okay. Well, you knew you were holding out to watch it with me.
Correct.
So clearly it had some importance to me.
right. Man, Daniel's eating pizza.
Oh,
No, he's
yeah.
eating pizza.
Daniel is
Nah, he
eating
would
pizza on the
He
mic.
would never.
That's good as hell.
Anyway, I'm very excited for Dalton Barrett to be able to watch this. and
I'm
love
excited
it.
to watch it because we have the same two favorite
Yeah.
Friday the 13th movies, which is 4 and 6, right?
6 is my favorite, and then 4 is my second favorite.
Yes, that's my
I'm
favorite
also,
set.
I'm also excited to watch this because I've seen at least 2 Friday the 13th movies, and I couldn't tell you which ones they are. So this will make 3.
At any point does he go to Manhattan?
Shut up.
Josh, stop referencing.
Yeah, Josh, shut up. That was
The worst
stupid.
one.
I haven't seen that one. No, I have.
It's
That's the
Bobbin-
one.
It's Bobbin's third favorite.
That's the one where he
No,
goes
it's
to,
not.
That's the one where he goes
Yeah,
to
you're,
New
no,
York,
you're
right?
It's his number
It's
one.
one
favorite.
where he's on the boat and isn't in Manhattan.
And it's mostly on the boat. Yeah, and then he dies in
Yeah,
acid
it's
at the
on
end.
the boat.
Yeah, that's Jason
Yo,
on the boat.
spoilers.
Yeah,
come
that's the
on.
one where he's on the cruise, and then maybe 5 minutes of it is in Manhattan, and it's all in the sewers.
Then why is it called Jason Takes Manhattan?
Because they were
it should
stupid.
be called Jason Takes the Boat.
Why is it called Jason Takes these?
Got him.
All right, so
And we're back. Just kidding.
so we're gonna pause it here. We have not seen it yet. Everybody give their initial like kind of thoughts as to how this is gonna go. Watching this as a
Well,
group,
that's
Bobbin.
more important for you and Daniel.
Well, Bobbin, you go first
guys
for
go first.
for watching this as a group. How do you think this is gonna feel?
Oh, okay. I feel like everyone here is going to have an absolute ball because the movie's a ball, and we all like goofy movies.
That's facts. That's facts. Josh.
True.
I think that we're all going to enjoy it because it's a fun film.
Because it's a masterpiece.
It's a masterpiece slasher.
Daniel.
Facts.
I think I'm gonna have a fun time watching a movie with my friends.
Nah.
But no, I think it'll be good. I think it'll be a goofy little slasher movie. Yeah.
I'm gonna be the
about all I can
contrarian, and I'm gonna say I'm gonna hate it.
Shut
because
up.
I hate spending time with
I'm
you
gonna
guys.
say I hate you.
I think
that's
that's
my
gonna.
prediction. I'm not gonna make any predictions for the movie. I'm just gonna predict that throughout this movie, I will grow to hate you, Dalton K. Barrett,
I think
as
that
a person
by the end
much
of this,
more than I do now. And just to be clear, I hate you as a person a lot now.
Oh.
Like a lot.
I
Like
think
I
that
hate
by the
you.
end of this entire recorded session, my wish for Dalton to die will be increased as it is every week.
So I know a
Yeah,
few
yeah,
things
yeah,
about this movie. I know it's Jason. I know he goes to space. I don't know how those two things are going to work together. I know nothing
I
about
know,
the
what I
plot.
know is that
beautifully.
block button ain't enough, and I want you dead. Go on.
It works
Let's
out.
watch a movie.
It works out beautifully.
All right, I'm going to pause
bet
it
it
real
does.
quick. We're going to watch the
I
movie,
gotta
and
pause
then
it.
we'll
Thanks for watching.
we'll come back in a couple hours, and we will talk about Jason X. All right, and we are back. We just finished Jason X. We watched we watched the whole movie, and we're here to talk about Jason X. It's
Wait, you
Bobbin.
guys watched the whole movie? I did
Yeah.
not watch the
Yeah,
whole movie.
you stopped to
Man.
poop, but
I did actually. I was joking, but I did actually. Yeah, I took a poop break.
yeah, we watched the whole movie. This is the movie made for no one. Bobbin is going to break down the plot of this movie. So once he's done chewing on his
This
donut,
movie, believe it or not, this movie did actually have a plot, despite
No.
how it may sound from us
This
talking,
movie-
but it did actually have a plot.
This movie was released in theaters.
this is like
I
this
know,
is a
no,
thing.
it wasn't.
This is the thing that people watch. People paid money to watch this
Do you
movie.
want to know the worst thing about it is this is one of the highest grossing Friday the 13th movies.
You know what? As it
Makes
should
sense.
be.
I don't understand. We'll get to like our final
wasn't-
thoughts towards the
It
end.
wasn't- For what it's worth, it wasn't high grossing in the cinemas, but just a ton of people bought the DVD.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
this
that's
movie is
respectable.
false advertising. Anyway, Bobbin, break down
No,
the
it's a
plot. Why don't
movie.
you tell us what happens in Jason 10?
Jason, the
Jason
Roman
X
numeral.
gonna give it to you. He gonna give it to you.
10.
X gonna give it to you.
Take it on your back.
Okay,
It's about all demand
Okay.
Yeah.
Jason, that X movie start with Vin Diesel. The movie with
Yo,
X.
Triple X.
Triple X with Vin Diesel.
This felt like another Vin Diesel movie. This felt like Pitch Black with Vin Diesel.
That's so
like
true.
if
It's actually,
if Pitch Black had been made by like the same people that made the other Riddick movies, that's kind of what that felt
It's
like.
actually a prequel to both.
Yeah, is it?
Okay, so we begin Jason X with a really dodgy CGI sequence where it's like, what is it, like the internal of Jason? Like it's
I
his
guess
gut?
I guess it was
inside.
him in hell, but also
I-
it was
yeah.
like,
I think it's meant to be his soul.
My assumption
who knows?
was hell because
But
this
he's-
movie came
so
out
he's-
between the Jason Goes to Hell and Freddy versus
Freddy,
Jason.
yeah.
Like it came out
Yeah, so
between those
anyways,
two.
He's in like a warehouse, and it
Yeah,
says
it's a
the
facility.
it says the Crystal Lake Cryogenic Facility or something
Yeah.
to that akin.
And they're
Those
locking
weren't
him up.
words that made sense.
they're locking him up in these big chains.
Hey man, free my dog, man.
Free my boy
They got
Jason.
the,
Do
um,
nothing.
Free
They got
him.
they've got the Hannibal Burr. They got the Hannibal Buress, and by that I mean Hannibal Lecter fit on him.
They
he's
cool.
all-
They
he's
put
all
on
locked
this
up.
cool.
And we got our
this
then
cool,
we get our
uh,
first Andrew Garfield. We
No,
got two
no,
Andrew
no,
Garfields in this movie.
Oh yeah, you're right.
What?
You're right. You're
Yeah,
right.
we get-
You're right. There are
we got
two Andrew Garfields.
Yeah, this is the one that also kind of looks like the Safety guy.
Second one really looks like Andrew
Yeah,
Garfield.
yeah.
We really jumped the gun with naming this man Andrew Garfield because there was another man who looked more like Andrew
Who looked
Garfield in the
like
movie.
so much like Andrew Garfield.
Okay.
So, anyways, yeah.
So
Bobbin, continue the plot.
they put this big metal collar on Jason, and like they tie him up with chains, and they're like, "Oh, we got him, boys, we got him."
Well,
But of course, that doesn't work, and Jason
Of
is
course they did not
escaping
got
when
him.
we meet Olivia Rodrigo.
right.
I don't
No,
know.
no.
Rodrigo
no.
Slash Kristen Kirk.
Kristen Kirk from
Sure.
Smallville.
I
Yeah.
see Olivia,
I keep
Olivia
saying-
Rodrigo more, but yeah.
She
Whatever
looks
you
like
say.
Olivia Rodrigo.
I don't see Kristen
And-
Kirk at all, but I still call her
No,
that.
not
They-
whatsoever.
Not an ounce.
Kristen Rodrigo is chatting it up with the scientists.
Olivia
and they're
Kirk.
like,
Shut up.
she's like, Jason Voorhees, and they're like, yeah, we're gonna put him to sleep in the freaking in the Mr. Freeze cryo chamber and whatever.
Which
So
okay,
I think it said, I don't know if it said or if Josh just said that they were trying to do something with the fact that he's got his regeneration.
Yeah, they said that.
So they're trying to replicate that.
David Cronenberg wants to like study him and
Right,
use
yeah.
him to-
David Lynch wants to be immortal, like
And-
the
yeah,
Silver
David
Samurai
Fincher
and the
keeps trying
Wolverine.
to he'll fix him. He can fix him.
And I said
Right,
at
he
this
can fix
point,
her.
I was like, it would be really cool if this were the bottom of Crystal Lake, and then the movie said it was the
it
bottom of
was.
Crystal Lake, and I was
I
like,
think
ah.
I think it
I put that
actually had
the way around.
already said that it
It
was
did.
it was Crystal Lake, and then you said, you know, it would be
Yeah.
cool if it was.
It said Crystal Lake Research Facility, and then 5 minutes later, Don went, I wish they would have done this in Crystal Lake.
I have an idea. Okay, so, they friggin' Jason gets loose, and he's like, "I'm gonna kill all the people in the building," and he's slashing, and he's doing some stuff, and then Olivia Rodrigo gets to freeze Jason in the cryo chamber. Like it works.
Kristen Crew,
Oh yeah,
but yeah.
Then we get a shut up. Then we get a cracked epic not kill but stabbing
Yeah.
assault.
So in the attempt to freeze Jason, Olivia Rodrigo also gets frozen.
Right after,
And
she
I
gets
guess that's kind
stabbed
of the opening
through
Oh,
scene.
yeah, they
the cryogenic freezer.
Yeah.
which was
She does
it
get stabbed.
escapes through the hole that Jason's made with his
Mhm.
stabbing, so that the entire room gets cryogenically
Yeah.
frozen until we're 400 years into the future.
Yeah,
Correct.
that's the
For some
opening, and then
reason,
we
yeah,
cut to
400
400
In
years.
literally one scene, we go
Yeah,
to
4,000 years in the future.
Yeah.
Crazy that they would go that
According to Dalton.
According to Dalton Barrett, who heard 2460 and went,
Yeah.
No,
Oh
that's
my
4,000.
God,
That's
4,000
4,000.
years
That's
in the
4,000
future.
years in the future. Yeah.
Oh my
That was
God.
before he started drinking.
that's before Dalton started playing the drinking game of wacky future technology, which is the entire movie.
Nah.
Okay.
So yeah,
So-
Plot continue.
This crew of archaeologists finds Jason and Kristen, whatever, and so they're like, "Oh, we need
Kristen
to-"
Rodrigo. It's not that hard to
Kristen-
keep up.
Just shut up. Okay, just.
And then they're like, "Oh, we better transport these people because they're historical artifacts." And one guy who we thought was a woman.
Yeah, we did. We did.
You
think
guys
that-
thought was a woman.
I
Well,
thought. Yeah, I thought
yeah.
it was a sexy Jewish girl. My fault.
Uh,
Or I guess maybe it's a compliment because I thought he was sexy. Maybe I have to
Okay,
question some
okay.
things about myself.
They're mucking about and they're like grabbing stuff and it gets frozen to their hands. Ooh. Until one
Rev
point
up
they-
the
that was
Bugatti
funny. He
Right.
went up the Bugatti. He grabbed the mug and it froze to his hand. like
It
that,
did.
like
Yeah,
tongue
I
and
liked
Christmas
that.
and then-
I
pudding.
like
and
that
then
bit.
he,
That was quirky. Yeah.
and then he grabs Jason and pulls him down and slices off his own arm.
Which is
And
so funny.
Then he grabs Jason. Then he grabs Jason's dick, and his hand freezes to that too. It was really weird. Hey, yo.
I think Jason falls. I don't think he grabs
Yeah, no,
Jason as much
yeah,
as
he,
Jason
he,
just.
he smashes the mug
think
that's frozen
like-
to his hand and it like locks the room.
He like nudges him like gently maybe or something, but then he falls and it slices his arm.
Yeah, which it's
Which is just
amazing
sick.
that
Yeah, so
frozen that machete is still that sharp because machetes are
Yeah.
pretty dull. You gotta whack
Maybe,
it like
maybe the ice made it sharper, because it's like jagged or something. I don't
maybe,
know. How ice
or
works.
maybe this movie is dumb.
that could also be it. That's very logical.
Jason X, dumb. Did we watch the
Nah.
same movie, Don?
All right,
Yeah,
Bobbin,
no, I don't
keep
think
going
so.
with this plot.
Okay. So
Plot.
the plot. I guess they
plot.
find
I guess the
Jason and they find Olivia Rodrigo and they're like, oh man, these people are literally frozen. Let's unfreeze them. So they bring them back to the spaceship. We cut to some really janky CG 2000 CG spaceship stuff.
Which
and then
let's
we're inside the set.
yeah, let's pause for a second. The CG spaceship stuff looked horrible.
No, it was great.
It
Yeah,
looked
it's
as
perfect.
good
It was
as
good.
an
It was
episode of
good.
Next Gen from the 80s.
I could not tell that it was CG.
Yeah,
Yeah, I thought it really took place 4,000 years in the future.
It was
is a
bad.
documentary?
Like it was wonky, and it was a weird design, which it wasn't a bad design necessarily. It was just weird. But that mixed with the very dated looking effects, and not dated as in 2002, dated as in the 1970s/80s.
Dated for the time.
Yeah,
Not dated for now. Yeah.
It did not look very good. And the sets didn't help. The sets were okay, but they were all very tight and cramped, and which I guess works for a Friday the 13th movie, but I don't know. It didn't work for me.
Yeah, no, I feel you. I thought it was fun and quirky, but that's just me.
Olivia Rodrigo and Jason into this big laboratory room.
Kristen Krug, but yeah.
Oh my god. They take him to this big laboratory, and they thaw both of them out with some special thawing technology, like a really special sink.
The dry ice sink. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll get there.
We'll get to the dry ice, Daniel. Don't you worry.
And through this, we get introduced to our cast of teens, cast of
our cast of victims.
Right.
Okay. Let's I'll hand it to you guys. Let's.
Oh no, that's a bad.
Our cast. Idea. So we have the priest, the professor, right?
the professor. Priest.
Right. The priest, the prophet, the professor, all one man.
There's the one student who pinches his nipples while he dresses up in women's clothing.
Right.
There's real Andrew Garfield now.
Yeah.
There's Andrew Garfield.
Real Andrew Garfield is the one that is sleeping with. Yeah. There's Martin
with the robot
Manhunter.
girl.
Yeah, and real Andrew Garfield is sleeping with Robot Girl. Yeah.
Then there's the couple who were meant to be helping with the autopsy, but they
and that's the girl who looks like Marie from Breaking Bad, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So it's Marie. What's his face? Martin Manhunter.
Yeah.
Kristen Krug. Jason Voorhees.
No. There's the
priest.
Person whose arm got chopped off, who has like a dreadlock rat tail.
Timothy Chalamet.
Timothy Chalamet.
Yeah. Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah, Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah, they play video games together.
Yeah, they like to play video games together.
Mm-hmm.
Who else? We're at
Cowboy Hat.
We're at 8 so far. Cowboy Hat. Yeah, he's the ship guy. Toy Man from Smallville.
Right, yeah, mustache.
What?
He looks like Toy Man from
mustache
Smallville.
with the really what looked like a really bad bald cap, but I guess was just supposed to be like a pirate bandana. I don't fucking know.
Oh yeah.
That's Toy Maker from Smallville. So we're at 10 so far. Who else?
I don't know.
There's a load of
who was the other guy who wasn't the other basic looking white guy who wasn't Andrew Garfield?
Android Woman.
Yeah, we said her.
I didn't count her.
We
So we're at 11.
offhand.
There's a load of unnamed like goons that get killed off. There's the other black guy who isn't Marshall.
Other black guy. So we're at 12.
The guy with the Black Panther necklace. Yeah, Raw.
Yeah.
This does actually have a really big cast, actually.
Yeah, it was pretty full.
Is there any other characters who like have actual roles? Because I feel like the rest of them are just.
No, that's it.
I think the 12 are like the main role characters, and then there's like 5 or 6 more that are not. So we're at almost 20 characters.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty stacked.
Okay, so.
And they're all doing various things. Blonde Sonya Blade. Sonya Blade from Mortal Kombat is giving Jason an autopsy, and she removes his mask, and you see like a really cool.
It's really good.
Little face.
Yeah,
it's really good.
Like
the costume. Bobbin said it going in. He was like, "This is my favorite Jason costume," and he was right. Like it's perfect.
He right for this one.
I think
both of them go crazy.
I think I probably still prefer 6 because I prefer the actors like movements and the heavy chest breathing and all that kind of stuff. But it's a runner up for sure. It is probably my favorite mask because the
mask is really cool.
The mask is great.
The mask is sick.
Although I do really like the mask from Jason Takes Manhattan as much as I don't love that movie. That mask is great.
I like the random pieces of like rebar and stuff that's sticking out of his back.
Yeah.
My favorite part is the collar, personally. I really love the collar.
Yeah, it's great. So cool. The whole design is great. Wish I could say the same about the set, because I can't.
Oh, it's good.
It looks
that's good.
It looks like Stargate. but TV show Stargate, where it didn't have any money and it was all just gray metal.
Yeah, that's what this movie feels like, gray metal from a TV show with no budget.
It reminds me like of a specific TV show, but I can't think of which one because it's not.
It's TNG mixed with Stargate.
It feels like if Star Trek was made by like the
Joss
Sci-Fi
Whedon.
Channel.
Yeah.
And Joss Whedon directed it.
Yeah, it's kind of got Buffy vibes to the whole thing.
Yeah.
Well, it's got the like rip off Buffy dialogue where
It also
every character makes a joke.
It may just be the one, and this is later in the movie, but the one leather-clad sexy lady with the guns and the bullet bandoliers around her. But it reminded me of those, the Resident Evil movies and the Underworld, which is just the Resident Evil movies, but with a different lady in leather.
Right, correct.
But yeah. So it's all over the place.
This movie has a lot to love and a lot to not love.
Yeah, all right,
it just has a lot to love.
The plot.
Okay, I mean, for this section of the movie, it's kind of just things are just kind of happening with each of the characters.
Yeah,
they're all having sex.
Yeah, but also
there are
really the next big thing to happen is like Olivia Rodrigo wakes up from the cryo sleep, and then they kind of exposition dump where she is and like the timeline and all that.
Yeah, but there are also 3 separate sex scenes going on at the same time.
Not 3.
Yeah, there's robot man and robot woman, other man and other woman, also priest and what's her face, all at the same time.
There are actually
sex.
There are 2 people having sex at the same time. It's
just 2 pairs. Yeah,
it's 2 pairs.
Yeah,
one of them is having normal sex when they're meant to be doing an autopsy, and the other is a professor having sex with a student where she pinches his nipple and humiliates him to get her to pass because she's failing her grades.
Right,
Yeah,
which was weird. It was very weird. It made me uncomfy.
Very out of place, and it doesn't happen ever again in the movie.
No, I think it fit into the movie. I think
he's also
really
he's not presented as a professor at all.
Yeah, he's more of just a scientist.
Priest. He's a priest.
Well, doesn't really seem like a priest. He kind of looks like a priest.
He just dresses like a priest because he's all in
just kind of acts like some guy though.
Yeah, he's all in black, so he kind of looks like a priest. But he just
although he's not all in black. His jacket is like a dark brown, but
he's not Johnny Cash.
Yeah, no, for sure.
But yeah, so while this is going on, and they try and get you to feel for the characters that they're gonna kill off soon. The one woman who's doing the autopsy on Jason keeps turning around because she's like she hears something. But what's behind her? It's not Jason because he's gotten up and he's awake. And he does the single sickest kill in this film, and one of the sickest kills in the entire franchise. Yeah.
My favorite kill in the franchise. Josh, you want to explain?
It does go crazy. It does go crazy.
He grabs her and then pushes her head into the liquid nitrogen basket that she was using earlier. That's full of
the dry ice sink.
The dry
ice sink. The craziest kill in the franchise.
We see her face in the liquid freeze.
Yeah.
He pulls it out and smashes it on the table next to her.
Not only that, but the sound is great because she's screaming and then it just stops as she freezes, and then he you said this going in.
And you said he brings the head out of the water and it's like frosty.
Yeah. Well, you said
really
it's the best kill in the franchise, and I was like, no, there's no way, and it was.
But I think it might be. Yeah,
it might be the best kill in the franchise.
I say having seen 3 movies. But
there's like a handful, and it's definitely in the top 5, like top 3 even.
Yeah, it's great.
Honestly, some of my favorite kills are from this and from the remake, which is crazy.
I'd agree with that. I think it's this and the one where he grabs the woman in the sleeping bag and smashes her against the tree.
That's from the remake.
In the remake he burns a woman in her sleeping bag.
Yeah, you're right. I like that one too. Yeah, you're right. Well, they reference him hitting the tree with the sleeping bag in this one. That one's in 4, maybe.
7. It's in 7.
She hits and this one hits the sleeping bag and hits the other.
Yeah, I like that
He
too.
hits another
we'll get
woman
there.
double.
We'll get there.
Yeah, for sure.
Bobbin, by all means.
The plot.
The plot. So, I mean, from this point on, it goes just by Friday the 13th formula, which is not everyone knows that Jason is about, but Jason is in fact about, and everyone is trying to warn everyone that Jason is about, and he just slowly picks off everyone. We get caught in this like hologram futuristic game that these guys are training in.
That was fun.
It was fun. That's where Timothy Camel dies.
Tomotiki Champagne.
And I think that's when we get introduced to Stone Cold Steve Austin.
It is,
or at least when I first got introduced.
Right. He may have been introduced earlier, but I was not watching the movie.
For sure.
I think you see like a glimpse of him as he's carrying some big heavy thing through a warehouse.
Yeah, maybe.
But there's these guys are playing this game, and they're shooting aliens, and then Jason.
They're playing Doom, basically.
They're playing Doom, and then Jason slices open an alien, and they're like, "What? This isn't in protocol, dude.
Whoa,
what's going on?"
They say, what the heck?
The machine's broken.
That wasn't supposed to happen.
He's behind me.
Drake ass game.
He's behind me, isn't he?
You guys might want to see this.
Well, but it was a great fake out because they get killed in the game.
It was.
And then I'm like, oh man, Jason killed him, but they're still talking. That's weird. And then they cut off the game and they're sitting on the floor, like looking at each other.
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty good.
Do you think their deaths in the game are intentionally shitty looking then? Like when he slices him in half and it's just a red goop?
No. That's the best effects this movie could afford.
Yeah. That was the best effect in the movie.
How does he kill the dude with the rat tail?
It's that scene.
I know it's that scene. The guy jumping in from behind.
He snaps him on his knee with his. He snaps his back on his knee.
He backbreaks him.
Yeah, he
He banes him. Yeah.
And then he gives Stone Cold just a little like head tap.
Yeah.
Well, no, he bangs his head up against the wall. It was I thought it was
just
kind of cool.
just a little ball.
Yeah,
just
but
a little
like relative to the movie,
relative to this, it was just a little bop.
Like it should have been he smashes his head into the wall and then you see it on the other side and it's got like the face imprint.
Yeah, I guess it would have been cool in like, I don't know, Friday the 13th Part 3. Like if he had bashed someone's head up against the wood of a cabin, like that would have been a cool kill. But I guess here it's kind of like normal-ish, I guess. They didn't really take advantage
of... It's just that there's so many good kills.
Yeah. There's one kill, really, where they took advantage... 2 kills where they took advantage of the futuristic set to do the kill. And I guess that's kind of a little disappointing. Because, like, the rest of them are just normal. Jason has a machete, kills people.
Yeah.
There are only 2 where they're like... And it's the dry ice sink... And one other scene where it's like, man, that is a really cool kill using the future tech.
Yeah, which we'll let Bobbin take care of the kills.
Yeah, we'll get to the other kill later because it happens towards the end. But Bobbin, take away the plot.
The plot. Okay,
the plot.
Yeah, there's a plot. It's a good plot.
What happens after the freaking hologram
plot
scene?
ensues.
I think that's when they just start sending like men after men.
They do this hunt in the hallway, not in the hallway, but in like this like closed, very
it's
narrow.
all like pitch black. You can't see.
Yeah.
In my least favorite part of the movie is just the people hunting Jason. Yeah,
that makes sense.
And it takes up the middle chunk of the movie.
Yeah, I guess.
There's one cool kill in this though.
People are picked off. People are machete. People are strangled, I guess.
Mm-hmm. I love it. I love when not Andrew Garfield in this movie, because Andrew Garfield's a different guy, but another guy who kind of looks like Andrew Garfield. He thinks he's killed Jason because he has him strung up on this like thing, and he's like, "I got him. Come help me get him." And the guy's like, "Don't take your eyes off of him." Martin Manhunter. It's like, "Don't take your eyes off of him." And the guy's like, yes, sir, I won't. And then while he's saying that, his eyes are off of him, and Jason gets off the hook and then puts him on the hook. I really like that kill. That was a fun one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What does happen? Oh, that's when Martian Manhunter himself, he's like, I've had enough of this. And he goes in himself.
Yeah, and then we think gets killed, but he doesn't. He makes it.
Right.
Yeah.
At what point does he put the Among Us suit on?
That's much later.
That's
much later.
Yeah, that's at the end.
Cool.
After that, it turns into a literal Friday the 13th movie where it's just people bumming around for a while until Jason eventually gets to one of them.
Yeah.
Right. What does happen after that bit?
They all gather in like the central room, and this is when the ship crashes into the base that they were headed towards. Because the one girl's all like, "It's okay, even though they all died at the base. They have their own special ops who will kill Jason, and then they crash into the base and destroy all of the special ops.
The whole thing.
They kill millions of people."
We get exposition of what the future is like because they're trying to explain it to the woman who is also frozen with Jason,
and it's horrible.
Rodrigo,
Kristen Krug.
Rodrigo, and she's kind of like she kind of takes a back seat for most of the movie.
Yeah, like, even though I called it from the beginning, she was going to be the final girl.
Well, yeah, that part's obvious, but you think that she'd have more of a role. Like every other final girl in a Friday the 13th movie has done something to try and stop Jason. But she's just kind of like hanging around with the people who actually do. Mostly the robot chick.
Yeah.
Right. But they're all in this room. They crash into the base. They're like, oh no, we're going to die because Jason's going to kill us. And then they're like, oh no, it's fine. And then there's a knock on one door. And so they all freak out. But the final girl is like, Kristen Krug is like, oh no, that's not Jason. It's okay. And then Jason busts through another window on the other side of the room. So I don't know how he got like between the two. So he busts in the window and then everybody runs out the door, shuts the door behind him, and leaves the priest behind.
I'm pretty sure that this Jason has like teleportation abilities.
Yeah, no, he's got all kinds of crazy, wacky abilities.
Like, even at the beginning of the movie, when he's strung up, he manages to teleport outside and string up someone else in his place.
Yeah.
Even though he was completely chained up and there was no way for him to get out.
And like I
can do that though.
While the autopsy is going on, he teleports away too.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I mean, this is post supernatural Jason. So this is like, because 6 is supernatural Jason. Anything after that,
Resurrection Jason.
Yeah, he has like some supernatural abilities, and so
they, for the 3 people who watch this, they made this movie because they didn't know when they were going to be able to make Freddy vs. Jason, and they were like, we need money, so make another Jason movie. So they just went, what if we set it really far in the future?
What if we made it Star Trek? What if we made Friday the 13th Star Trek?
Stupid.
What movie at the time do you think came out that influenced this? Like, what was the big space movie around 2002?
Star Trek.
Phantom Menace?
It probably was Star Wars because it was 2001. So
but this feels way like I get it. Star Wars came out at this time. This feels like Star Trek. This feels like an episode of Next Gen.
It feels much
Actually,
more
do you know
like Star
what
Trek.
might have just come out? I can't remember which one. I want to say Insurrection or like one of the Next Generation movies. I'm pretty sure came out around this time period.
Maybe
First Contact.
Enterprise started in 2001 and Enterprise was pretty popular, so it could have been, because this does feel okay. Now that I say that, this feels a whole lot like Enterprise.
It does, yeah.
This is the plot of an episode
I
of
watched
Star Trek Enterprise.
Yeah,
Enterprise was a fun one.
Enterprise was the bridge between Next Gen and modern Star Trek.
It was the prequel that they made. No, it wasn't.
No, it was a regular sequel. Yeah.
No, it was a prequel. It was like
really
because the entire introduction was every form of flight leading up to the first.
You're right. But it took place on a space base, And like
no,
this.
No, it took place on the Enterprise, and they flew around to different planets because they went to like a planet that had a.
Which one am I thinking of?
Is this a podcast about Star Trek?
Josh? Which one took place on a base?
That was Deep Space Nine.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of. When did Deep Space Nine come out?
That was mid-90s, I think.
Man, these motherfuckers want to be red letter media so bad.
All right, yeah. Deep Space Nine was 93. Hey, both of those could have influenced this heavy. What I'm saying is this movie feels like an episode of Star Trek. Any of them.
What we're saying is this movie is not original outside of some very cool kills, actually. Right. Pretty original.
Right. And there's two good ones. All right, Bobbin, the plot.
So they were gonna
Shut up, Josh.
Let Bobbin break down the plot.
Okay. What happens in this movie?
So yeah, the plot.
So we're at the point where Jason breaks through the window.
Hold on, wait. Serious. Did you guys know that Unfriended 2 was originally going to be called Unfriended Game Night? Hear me out. But they changed it because of the movie Game Night. They came out starring Jason Bateman and some other lady.
Rachel McAdams.
Okay. Yeah, Rachel McAdams.
Okay. All right, Bobbin, the plot.
And the Meg 2.
The Meg 2 is coming out, guys.
All right, Bobbin.
Okay.
You got 15 minutes. No, you got
London on the. Yo, how'd they fit a whole city on the track? Talking about they got London on the track. Get the fuck out of here!
All right, Bobbin, you got 15 minutes. Finish the plot.
They crash into.
Josh, shut up! It's Bobbin's doing the plot. Bobbin, the plot.
Josh is helping me out because I'm
just
not
go.
Because this part of the movie is extremely forgettable. It's when they crash into the city and they just wander around a broken spaceship for it, like 30 minutes.
We already talked about them crashing into the city.
And then when's the part when the lady goes in when Marie is in the pod and then it goes out, but then it's still attached?
That's a little later. But yeah, we're close.
Yeah, that was pretty sick.
Marie's boyfriend, who is Andrew Garfield, who's also having Yeah, Marie's boyfriend is
no, that's not Andrew Garfield.
There's a different guy. That's what I was saying. There's a different basic-looking white guy who's not Andrew Garfield.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Because I thought Andrew Garfield was sleeping with both a real woman and the robot.
No. He was just sleeping with the robot.
Gotcha.
There was just the one couple. Yeah.
Fake Andrew Garfield, who was sleeping with an actual person.
With Marie.
With Marie. Yeah, and he gets killed very early on in the movie, right after they have sex, because Jason sniffs them out like a dog.
Right. Remember when the Friday the 13th movies were about Jason murdering people who were sleeping on the job?
Well, that one.
Oh, that was like
that one was kind of.
That was the first three.
Admittedly, that is kind of his whole character, though, isn't it? That he was
that, and then he hunts Tommy Jarvis.
Sex, and then
he kills because of sex, and then he kills because of Tommy Jarvis. Like that's the whole franchise to this point.
Yeah, and Tommy Jarvis should have been in this movie, or he should have been a robot, or
I stand by it.
Grandson.
They love Tommy Jarvis so much.
Personally, I think they should have done robot Tommy Jarvis. They probably couldn't because of rights, but
that's what it should have been, because it's not at this point, but in the near future, they trick Jason by putting him in a hologram of Crystal Lake, as it was in the 1990s. And they should have had Tommy Jarvis in the hologram, and he like fights him as a side.
Or maybe like Tommy Jarvis's special effects, like his creature mask and whatever, have become famous by this point.
That's cool.
That would be quirky,
like that would have been a neat little like his creature effects have become famous, and so he's like he's well known.
Tommy Jarvis is the Tom Savini, but in the Friday the 13th.
Well, that's what he was always supposed to be, but maybe he's like maybe he's famous by this point, and like the people in the future recognize him or whatever.
We were trying to make this movie better.
He's an icon.
There's
we could have made a better. We could have made a better Jason X, is what we're saying.
Well, I think a monkey with a wrench could have made a better Jason X.
We could make a better version of most of the movies we watch.
We're trying to make
Let us make a movie. Someone in Hollywood, whatever Hollywood executive is watching this right now. I know there's at least one. Come on, hit us up, man.
One of the 9 people watching this is a Hollywood exec.
Yeah,
the rest of this movie is basically just like people wonder about. They're about to do something useful, and then Jason grabs them at the last moment. Until we find out that Andrew Garfield has upgraded his robo girlfriend, and now she's Black Widow.
No. You're missing because, like, there's
he didn't upgrade. He didn't upgrade her though. He uploaded her.
Yeah, that's what he said. Because he slept with her, and then he said, "I
uploaded her."
All right, Bobbin, what were you saying?
Like, because there's like 4 people left or something, and then Marie is on the other side of the spaceship, and she's supposed to like open the door for them.
Yeah, she's meant to open the door to the escape shuttle. Basically,
the pod, yeah.
But she has a panic attack and just blows up.
Yeah, and she just kind of tries. I mean,
hey, we've all been there.
She tries to.
Yeah, well, she was having a panic attack. Yeah, so she was just freaking out, trying to escape. But then
but without detaching from the ship.
Yeah, so then it like swung and did a big explosion. That was pretty cool.
And then and then Jason catches up.
And then boom, bada bing, bada boom, bada boo.
And then Black Widow comes out and she fights Jason, shoots him.
Mila Jovovich comes in.
Mila Jovovich from the Resident Evil movies.
Also, the girl from the Undertale or whatever.
Underworld.
Shut up.
Sans from Undertale comes in. And they have I don't even want to call it a fight. She just beats the shit out of him.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. It's so good.
She shoots off his arm, shoots his leg, and then
shot him to a literal bloody pulp.
Yeah, she headshots him, and they leave his body.
She made the mistake of leaving him by this thing that was set up.
It was
best part of the movie set up.
So after like a 5-minute sequence of Jason android lady absolutely destroying Jason Voorhees, and it's so rad. It's actually like so fun.
She's so cool.
It's very Matrix-esque. The way she's just shooting him up, and
she's doing a lot of flips too and stuff.
Yeah. There's a lot of wire stunts, and then she finally
some really good wire stunts for sure.
She finally knocks Jason into the original lab, with his body parts shot off.
But explain the
his arm
explain
is
the
shot
thing
off.
that was set up. Explain the setup.
Okay. I'm getting there. So Jason is laying beside this like nano fabric technology, and that's what. So I remember seeing
it set up earlier. When the guy got his arm chopped off.
Rat-tailed arm.
Yeah. They used the cool chrome effect, and they also used it on Lady. Olivia Rudd.
They use it on Olivia Rodrigo.
Sex cult alleged invitation.
Right. Did y'all know that the guy who played Tommy Jarvis in his first appearance in Friday the 13th Part 4 is the voice of Donatello in the 90s Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie?
Yes, we know.
Yeah, because it's Corey Feldman.
I didn't know that. That's hard.
It's literally Corey Feldman.
Did you know that Jarvis is the name of Iron Man's little robot assistant?
I did.
I bet you didn't know that. It's a pretty niche fact.
He also does not voice him in 2, but comes back to voice him in 3. And he's the first known male to survive Jason's rampage. He's the only person to defeat Jason twice, along with Jason's imposter. And he's also the first male to defeat Jason and the only main character who appears in more than one film and lives.
This has nothing to do with Jason X.
No, because Tommy Jarvis isn't in Jason X, and he should be.
Chrome.
He gets
chrome. Imagine they just took like his skeleton and just made it chrome. I still think he should have just been cryogenically frozen. But anyways, the chrome went on Jason because the chrome was set up and it was so cool, and I got so excited when it showed it because I was like, that was set up. It was like the Leonardo DiCaprio snapping and pointing. He's just like me. But yeah, Bobbin. Then plot happens. Epic new Jason. And continue.
Yep. And
you have 7
Chrome
minutes.
goes over Jason, and then Jason gets a new costume. He has a robot arm and a robot leg.
Don't forget that he has Sith eyes from Star Wars.
And he has really red eyes.
And the yellow pupils. He has straight up Sith eyes from Star Wars.
Sith eyes.
Yeah. So then Jason just absolutely wipes the floor with Android Girl immediately.
Cuts her head off.
She got one good punch on him. Yeah,
that's true. But like it was over very quickly.
He snapped back hard.
And then Martian Manhunter
Martin Manhunter.
Yeah, he's in the Among Us costume.
He puts on an Among Us suit.
And then he's trying to find the imposter. Suspicious. Boom, 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 boom. Bing, 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 bing.
So Martin Manhunter.
I wish Ewan was here with his soundboard so we could play that.
That would be funny.
I miss that guy.
But yeah, but basically the rest of them make a run for it and try and get to a nearby escape pod so that they can get to safety. During which Martian Manhunter single-handedly takes on
Martin Manhunter.
He takes on Jason, and there's one part where Goofy R. Jason is flying out from this exploding spaceship towards this one escape pod, and he looks like The Rock in that one shot from Black Adam where he's
no. Hold on.
Yeah,
we're skipping a crucial bit. We're skipping a crucial little bit.
Did we skip a crucial bit?
The hologram at Camp Crystal Lake.
He beats he takes the sleeping bag with the lady in it.
Dalton, do you want to explain the hologram? Because you were very excited about that.
So the hologram happens, and the hologram is Crystal Lake, and it doesn't work. They put
Jason in a hologram like place,
and instantly my brain went, "Oh, this is sick! Are they going to use his mother? Are they going to use Jason's mother against him?" They didn't do that because that was too cool and too smart. Instead, it's two shirtless women who want to seduce. One of them smoking the Zaza, one of them's drinking the beer, and they try to seduce Jason, and they get into sleeping bags to seduce them. So Jason picks up one of the women and beats the other woman with the other woman in the sleeping bag.
Insane.
To kill both of them. It's fantastic, and I love it. Is classic Jason.
Very cracked.
Very classic Friday the 13th. I love every second of it. It would have been really neat and like psychological and whatever had they used his mom, which is really where I thought they were going.
Enough about his mom. You set your expectations too high.
That's what Bobbin said. Bobbin said, Dalton, you're setting your expectations too high for this movie. And he was right because they don't do that. But yeah, the hologram scene is cool because it takes us back to like it shows us a glimpse of like classic early movie Jason in this sci-fi film,
different kind of setting. Like they use
in this episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Correct.
They do set up.
Yeah.
I mean, they do set it up.
Hologram setup. Yeah. For sure.
And and not even that, they set up Jason in like old circumstances because as we reach the end of the movie, Jason is flying towards this escape pod. He's going to kill them all again.
Good segue.
It is a setup. It is not set up.
No,
it's both. It's both. It was.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
It was set up with the hologram, and it's also a setup for later.
And then Martin Manhunter flies towards him and spears him.
You're skipping
out
ahead just a little bit, but
it doesn't matter. Who cares?
There's a ship docked.
We already got to that point.
Did we talk about the ship that's docked?
Who cares? I don't care.
There's a ship that's docked to save the three people on the ship.
I'll dock with you.
Does it matter? That's what really matters. And so Martin Manhunter takes him and flies him to Nerf.
Right?
Yeah,
Earth.
But as they're flying away, because there's a really
Earth 2, they made a second one.
There's a cool fake out because we don't think that Andrew Garfield, Android Woman, and Kristen Kruk are gonna survive until we see like the outside shot of them. The main ship explodes and Jason comes rushing towards the new ship. And then that's when Among Us Martin from Among Us hits him and tackles him.
The Among Us character.
He tackles him towards Earth.
In space. Crazy move.
Nerf.
Earth 2, they made a second one.
Right. Although it's not. It's just regular Earth.
And so our three people that we kind of understood were characters survive. And they're flying off away from the planet. While Martin Manhunter and Jason re-enter the atmosphere, and you see this nice little couple sitting at what isn't, I don't think it's called Camp Crystal Lake, but it is a camp similar to Crystal
they don't name it, but you can just assume it's Crystal Lake because it's a lake and there are people camping.
Right, and they're like, "Oh wow, look at the shooting stars," and that's when you get Jason's mask falls to the bottom of the lake again.
The hard ass shot, as all Friday the 13th movies must.
Right,
the hard shot of the Jason mask.
But this time he's not bolted down. He's just gonna grab that mask and come out.
Yeah,
they could have made a sequel to this. But what's crazy to me is that scene with them doesn't feel like the future. Like it just feels like modern day.
No, because they didn't know what they were doing.
Right, because this movie is horrible.
No, it actually, you know what it was? You know what it was? They went through the lean portal from Tim Burton's Planet of the Apes 2001, and they went back to the past, to the future.
The ending of this movie feels very much like the ending of Tim Burton's Planet of the Apes. Mm-hmm. This movie feels a lot like Tim Burton's Planet of the Apes.
In a lot of ways, yeah.
But yeah, and then credits roll, and I don't know if there's an after credits to this one. I know there's an after credits to the one before to Jason Goes to Hell because it's Freddy.
Thank you, Freddy.
So this movie, it's really weird because it's made for no one, right? It's not made for Friday the 13th fans.
It's made for me.
It's made for one
Bobbin
person,
and Josh,
and it's Bobbin. It's not a great Friday the 13th movie because of the weird sci-fi elements. It's not a great sci-fi movie because of the Friday the 13th elements.
I don't know. I feel like despite being a sci-fi movie, it's such a weird concept to make a Friday the 13th movie that is a sci-fi movie. But given that context and that premise. Like, they did a great freaking job with it. Like, this is as good of sci-fi.
It's as good as this movie could ever be.
I know that you're not a fan of...
Outside of the version that we wrote.
I know that you're not a fan of sci-fi Friday the 13th because you feel like you lose some of the elements that make it Friday the 13th.
It's not sci-fi Friday the 13th. It's sci-fi horror movies as a whole I don't think work because, like, even Alien isn't scary to me. Because Alien is set in this weird futuristic world where there's nothing for me to relate to.
To me personally, like I don't think of slasher movies as even being scary. Like they don't even feel like horror movies. Like even like just original Friday the 13th doesn't feel like that much of a horror movie. Like it's its own thing. It's a slasher movie. Like that's how it feels to me, at least.
I feel like there's this element still of like I could visit a campground, or I have visited a campground as a kid, and this could happen to me. And that's kind of where these movies have always kind of kept me. Is it's this weird like this could happen to me. There could be this boogeyman who comes out to kill me. And so there's always that looming fear that comes with them. Whereas with this one, you lose that, I think, because of the futuristic aspect.
Fear. I think it can still work though, because like even if it's not playing on the fear of situation, it is playing on the fear of isolation and being trapped on. Or
what about Among Us? You never felt scared playing Among Us,
Josh? It could play on that, but it doesn't. It doesn't play on that at all. So your point doesn't matter to this argument whatsoever.
Right.
You're just trying to defend this movie, which once again, I had a great time watching this movie, but I didn't have a great time watching this movie. I didn't have a great time watching this movie because this movie was great.
Yeah, it was because it was fun to watch with my friends.
Yeah, it was fun to watch because it was bad.
I don't know that it was necessarily bad. Like it
wasn't.
I don't know.
Good.
It was mid. It was mid, but I like it. It was mid, but I like it.
It had some fun kills. It had some very fun kills. Some of the best of the franchise. We didn't even talk about the woman getting sucked through the grate, which was a very disappointing kill.
Yeah.
But could have been one of my favorite kills from the franchise. Jason punches a hole from outside of the ship, and the pressure like sucks a woman through a hole. And it doesn't show it. But
great.
Yeah.
I liked when Mila Jovovich shot the hole in the wall behind Jason and then like shot him and then kicked and punched him through. That was pretty sick.
Yeah.
Very cool scene.
I would like to hear Bobbin talk about this film as a final.
Yeah, Bobbin, give your like final thoughts.
Wrap it up. Okay.
Wrap up this movie for us. Wrap it up in a bow and stick it up.
Wrap it up in a nice little bow. Wrap it. Wrap
it before you tap it. Let's go.
Okay. It's a trend for me to have a lot of love for not very good movies, and this is just one of those. I love Batman and Robin, and I love Jason X. That's just what I enjoy.
Which those movies are very similar, and they shouldn't be. But continue.
A movie doesn't have to be good for it to be great to me. Like I think this is a great movie, and I love it.
Yeah, bar.
And I've seen this movie I think like 4 times now, and it's such a good time. I've shown it to my sister, and we just like we'll have a ball just like watching this ridiculous concept.
It's like the ultimate movie that would be featured in Scream.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's such a ridiculous movie. That's such a good way of putting it.
It's a ridiculous movie, which is why it's so much fun to watch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
because like
when a movie is this ridiculous, your expectations of like filmmaking quality just go out the window.
Right.
Especially like a movie that knows what it is, like this movie does. Because like it knows that you're watching it just for kills and spectacle. Which, whether or not it delivers on those is a whole nother debate, but it knows that you're there for that.
Yeah, for sure.
Right, definitely. And it does deliver on the kills. I don't know that I'm necessarily in a Friday the 13th movie for spectacle. And it doesn't.
It definitely, like, I know what he means though. Like, it has its kind of je ne sais quoi, it's got that riz, that Friday the 13th riz.
It has riz. Well, like in Friday the 13th Part 6, there's that moment where Jason's
don't
grave
compare
gets
this to the
lightning.
other Friday the 13th movies.
Well, but like Jason's grave gets struck by lightning, and then, in Reboot Jason, he gets thrown into a meat grinder. Like there's those moments that you're there for,
which is a little. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think that's a little different. I don't know. There's just something about this mixing these two genres together. And once again, I loved watching this movie. This is a movie I'll watch with friends, and when I want to watch a bad slasher movie, this will probably be my go-to. And this was my first time watching this. But there's this element of this movie that I really can't get behind in terms of it being like a good movie. Just simply because it's this weird meshing of these two genres that don't mesh.
I think maybe I just don't really view movies as being good or bad. I kind of just look at it as whether or not I enjoy it.
Yeah, did I have fun watching
it does make it hard to judge a movie on its quality, because kind of no matter what, like with us watching these movies together, I'll always kind of enjoy it.
Because I like spending time with my friends, and I get that too.
Yeah.
But I would never sit down on my own and watch this movie. I would with a lot of the other Friday the 13th movies.
I feel like maybe not on my own, but like this is the kind of movie I would watch at least once on my own, and definitely the kind of movie I would show to other people. For just this, for like watching and laughing and having a fun old time.
Mm-hmm. Right. I mean, I enjoyed it. It was fun. It wasn't good, but it was really fun to watch with my buddies.
It was mid, but I liked it.
Yeah. It's don't do this again. Whoever's making these movies now, don't. Or if you're making a slasher movie,
well,
you tried, good job, but don't do it again.
Right. Friday the 13th writes like all tied up in legalities and stuff, so it's unlikely we'll see a Friday the 13th movie until either the writer or producer who worked on the original, who now have different views on it, until one of them bites it. In the meantime, there is a TV show for Friday the 13th coming out.
Right. Don't set it 400 years in the future.
Well,
I think they should. I think they should go 4,000.
So it's being done by the guy who made Hannibal, like the TV show Hannibal.
Interesting.
Cool. And he said that what they might do is like a season a movie. So the first season's all going to be based on the first movie, second season, second movie, so forth.
Cool.
And he did say that if they get to 10 seasons, he wants to do Jason in space.
That would be crazy. That would be the sickest thing ever.
He was joking, but I like to know.
As far as things,
I don't know who he is, but
as far as characters that don't belong in space go, this will be my final ranking. I rank this below Moonraker. This is not as good as Moonraker, and that's where I land.
Okay.
Above Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, which isn't in space, but it has aliens. Below Moonraker. That's where I land.
Just wait until you watch Indiana Jones 5 and Harrison Ford goes up into space.
Right. All right, Bobbin, you said you wanted to do the close, right?
No, I said I was wanting to do the close before you cut it off for us to watch the movie.
Do you want to do the close?
We'll do a close.
Yeah, all right. Close us out, Bobbin.
All right. This is Bobby Boy Bobbin on the Semi-Pro Podcast. I am with Joshua Clements and Daniel Savage and Dalton Barrett. We watched Jason X, and you heard us talk about Jason X. Thank you for listening. If you made it this far, love and appreciate you. Many kisses, many hugs.
To your friends and
show it to your pal.
Like and comment. Share this to the same people that you would share Jason X with. So it's a very niche and specific. Yeah, definitely show it to your dog, both Jason X and this podcast.
If you know anyone who likes Batman and Robin,
if you know anyone,
20 seconds, guys. Let's close this out.
If you know anyone named Jason, show them this podcast.
Okay, that's it.
And we're out.
That's it from us. Please subscribe. Thanks. Love you. Goodbye.